Good morning, everyone. Our group will be doing a final project presentation for the Map and Environment course called the Green Bus, an application which will change the way you see public transportation forever. Now, let's take a look at the table of content. First off, we'll be talking about the background of our application and alongside the objectives. Then we'll be talking about the method we have used to build our application, along with the method we used to take in evaluation. And lastly, we'll be talking about conclusion and acknowledgement. So, as you guys know, Bangkok is one of the most congested cities in the world, and traffic congestion is a significant issue. And while there are various modes of public transportation available, the bus system is underutilized, and many people prefer to drive their cars. So, transportation becomes one of the main sources of carbon dioxide emission in Bangkok, which is up to 35.8%. So, let's take a look at our first objective. First, we develop a demo of an application which helps promote the use of public transportation, and particularly the bus system in Bangkok. And for our next project objective is to test the demo with the user in the Chulalongkorn University and receiving their feedback for further improvement of the application. So the feature that we have made for our app is, first, we are able to find the nearest bus stop and also calculate the time taken to arrive at the destination if the user travels by the bus. Thirdly, we can also calculate the money saved by using the bus comparing to using their own private car or taxi. And lastly, we can calculate the amount of carbon dioxide the user will be able to save by traveling by the bus, and also visualize how much user can save the environment. For example, if the user has saved at least one baby polar bear or not. And now let's take a look at the key method that we have used to build our application.
Moving on to the next slide, I'm going to talk about our key methods that we use to accomplish our application. Firstly, we planning and researching about our application. Secondly, we creating and design the UI of the demo. After that, we integrating with the bus stop information and also mapping information. After that, we testing and debugging our demo. Then we surveying and gathering some feedbacks. And last but not least, we implementing the application according to the feedbacks that we receive. We also have provided the QR code which everyone can scan to access to our document, which will show how to use our demo application. Now I will briefly show the demo video of our application, and I will also explain along with it. So at the first page, the user can touch anywhere to start the application. So after that, when we navigate to the second page, which is the map of Chula, the user will be able to choose any location which they are located. So let's say I'm at the Faculty of Architecture, so I will touch this red box. Then the next page will show the possible destination, which we have choose about 6 locations in Bangkok, which the user can choose. So let's say I want to go to Megabanga, so I will choose this one. And next page will show the summaries of our journeys, which will include the distance, the times taken, the carbon footprint that we will save comparing to using private car, and also the numbers of polar bear that we will save and money that we save comparing to private car. So let's say I'm already acknowledged this. I can also place the right arrow to go to the next one, and I can press start the journeys. So after I press that, the map will show the nearest bus stop that user need to reach in order to get on the bus and reach the final destination, which is Megabanga in this place. So let's say I'm already walked through this map and reached the bus stop. I will press the middle green button. So on the next page, the application will show a larger map of Bangkok, and it will also illustrate the route of the bus that it will drive through. And the user can also see the numbers of bus that they need to take on, like let's say number 25 in this case, and it will also show the stop that the users need to get off and change the bus to another numbers in order to reach the final destination. And last but not least, if the users want to go back to the first page or they already finished the journey, they can simply press the red buttons and they will be navigate back to the first place.
So as for how we get feedback from our application, we first test our application by letting random JLA students use our application, and afterwards we give them a Google form. So within this Google form, we have some questions that we ask and ask how they feel about it. For example, how useful they find the application, which they find quite useful, and how easy it is to use, which they also find it quite easy to use. And some that have lower scores, like the amount of landmarks that or the coverage across the city, it may be easily improved by adding more landmarks, for example. And another thing that we may find interesting is how often they actually use public transport before finding the application, which is quite low. But after using the application, a lot of them actually answers that they have more obligation to actually use the public transport more. So next, as for the open-ended question, we have 4 of them to ask. So firstly, it's about landmarks. Any more landmarks, just like before in the questions that they have answered, that they would like to see in the future. So here are a few of the suggestions like Dream World, Safari World, and Central Westgate. And there's some problems that people have with the application itself. So one of them that we have already implemented, like an easier way to access and use the application itself. But there are some other like no real-time location feature, no notification feature, and a user data collection which may be implemented later. Next is additional features which similarly to before, there's the real-time location feature and a notification system. But additional feature that has been requested and we've added is adding an end trip button at the very end of a trip to get back to the start much easier. Finally, there are also some other suggestions that have been made, like making similar applications, like for vans, for example, and a green bus website, or some kind of other application which may help to track all of the buses' position and route to plan better. And to conclude, from the Google Forms that we have conduct, we conclude that this project is a big success, as our main goal is to increase the use of public buses, which in this case has increased on about a 39% average, and receiving a lot of positive feedbacks. And we will be taking these features and suggestions and improving our application further on. And here's all of our acknowledgement. And thank you for listening to our presentation.